in the residential quarters now. It looks completely different.
Yeah, you're right. Actually, this place... it reminds me more of being back inside the wedge.
Except the Danon astral energy feels even stronger here.
In a portion of the city reserved purely for the Renin Sovereign.
Maybe he just has strange tastes?
This place looks like it has been here for quite some time now. If its design were a matter of personal preference, we would be talking from centuries ago. Or perhaps even further back. Still, this isn't the sort of decadence of taste spoken of in artistic circles. So what is it then?
Hold up, decadence? Artistic circles?
When a preference is indulged to its extreme, it descends into kitsch, eccentricity for the sake of it. I'd be happy to illuminate you further.
That depends. Does it involve you buying me lunch?
The void that art fills isn't the stomach, it's the soul.
In that case, I'll let you know the next time my soul starts to rumble.
Now all we need is something to fill up the void inside your head.
Shut up!
Volron! He really was still alive.
And there's the Renis Alma. Then, is this another spirit channeling ceremony?
Wait though, something doesn't seem right here.
Once more, the powers must be united. Born from the fires of chaos, the world does seek its rightful state. All must be sacrificed in the heart of Rena, at the shrine of the true sovereign.
What has happened to him? He's lost himself, reduced to a mere cog in a machine.
Hey look, over there!
Isn't that the Maiden's crest?
Can it be that this entire chamber is meant to act as a substitute for the Maiden?
It looks like it's still running, but... are we already too late to stop the ceremony?
If that's what caused Lenegis' transformation, then the purpose of the ceremony must have been to drain all the astral energy out of Dana.
But for what purpose? What could possibly need astral energy on that sort of scale?
I don't know. But whatever it is, I'll bet it's connected to those visions of oblivion. Regardless, we cannot stand by and let them steal Dana's energy. That said, we should retrieve the Renis Alma. Because right now, we need that most of all.
He's not gonna lunge at us out of nowhere, right?
Not the time, Law.
Alvin, look!
The Red Woman! So we finally found you. I have a lot of questions for you.
Wait!
What?
They all have the same face? How is that even possible? What is this?
Who the hell are they?
It can't be. Are they even people?
It's hard to know for sure, but I think they're the true rulers of Rena.
They're not feeling particularly talkative.
It's no use, Alvin. If we don't fight, we may as well be sitting just here.
Good point. Let's stop them before this gets out of hand. I'm on soaring light speed! You're on! Here I come! I'm on! Here I come! Lunar Rotor!
A whirling circle.
Dragon! War!
Here goes!
Take it! Freaking does it! Dragon Claw! You're mine! Rising Wyvern! You picked the wrong... Dragon!
I'm letting you all down.
You paid for that! Rising Wyvern! Lunar Rocket! Is this it?
In here! I'll be saving this one! one. Resuscitation! Illuminated dark! Come back! Holy glimpse! Holy glimpse! A brilliant rock from death to bid! Tectonic resuscitation! Carve now through all! I'm on fleek now! More for the side!
Rising Wyvern!
Take this!
Denied!
Now you see what I can do.
Soaring Light Spear! Dragon Swarm!
I'll be saving this one. Water, hear my call.
Almost. Too slow.
Spray!
I'm on it.
Freeze
Sonic Thrust!
What's this?
Sword Ring Alpha!
I'm on fire. Jump the dust.
Raging
Away!
evil.
Time hurricane.
That'll bring you down.
Rising Wyvern!
Sighted.
You're
Got me.
mine!
I'm only here.
Take this!
Lightning to the end.
Sword Ring Alpha!
Illuminating
Enemy secured!
Take this. Does it?
It's over.
You are gonna pay for that. Talent Storm.
Swallow Blade!
Can't get out of this!
Here I go.
Sword Ring
I'll
Alpha!
kill you all.
Does it hurt?
Elusive deity. I can do this all day.
Rising up!
Tornado Drive!
Double Demon Fang!
I can do this all day.
Super Swallow Dance!
On your
Double
knees!
Demon
I can
Fang!
do this all day.
Air Demon Burn! I owe you one. Rising Wyvern! Lunar Rondo!
Water, hear my call.
Take this!
Aren't being interrupted.
Rising Wyvern!
Now you see what I can do.
Lunar Rondo!
Glacial primed and ready.
Free Shield!
No time
Freeze
to break
laser!
renovation light.
Watch this.
Big Blast!
Lost my focus.
Glacial spear. Pierce the evil.
Hurricane!
Will this help?
Evil soul. Come and get it. Watch this.
Another incantation ruined.
I won't give up.
I couldn't make it in time.
Demon Fang!
Penumbra!
Talent hurricane.
From beyond.
I've let you all down.
Eat dirt!
Not done yet.
Shine!
Eat this.
It's too much!
Inspiration. I can do this all day.
Is this it?
Freeze laser.
Talent hurricane.
Here, let me help.
Super swallow dance.
Here I go. And again.
No time to break this night.
If it's in
Can't
the
get out of
sky, it's
this.
mine.
Inferno punch.
Power of water.
Rising
Shine!
Wyvern!
Radiant light! Force the
I'll
regeneration!
finish you here. Inferno punch.
It's over!
Smash you.
Let us take to
Eat
the
this.
fray!
Dragon
On
Shaper.
your knees!
Here's evil.
I've let you all down.
Freeze
Stay away
laser.
from my friends!
I'll bring you back from death to think again.
Heal!
Here I come!
Water, hear my call.
They'll pay for that.
Here's the evil.
From beyond!
Dragon
Imbue this
Shadow.
vanquished soul with love!
Evil assault.
I'm in your debt.
I owe you
I'll
one.
heal you all.
Take this!
Will this help?
Rising Wyvern! Lunar Rondo! Soaring Light Spear!
Here.
Sorry.
Blue Escape!
Away.
Rondo!
I'll heal you all.
Blue Escape! Rising
I'll
Light!
never
Mine!
That's enough. I'm just getting started.
Take this!
Rondo! Vacuum this!
Talent hurricane.
Double Demon Fang!
I won't give up.
Stay away from my friends! Dragon Swarm!
Swallow dance.
You are
Explode.
From beyond! Imbue this vanquished soul with love! Resuscitation!
Not my fight.
Shine!
You're mine.
Radiant light!
Rising Wyvern!
Regeneration! Regenerate!
Try harder! My turn!
Give me some punishment!
Resuscitate! There's not enough time to heal everyone!
So what do we do? Play dead?
Shut up and be more defensive!
Not done yet!
Healing circle! I'll bring you back from
Hold on!
You're mine!
I'll smash you!
I'm Dragon
Felt fine not too long ago.
There!
by the power of flame!
Dragon
Finish
Force!
without a trace!
Eagle assault!
Burn!
Negative here and now!
Lunar Rondo! Away!
Finish without a trace!
Rising Wyvern! Rising
No
Phoenix!
dawn shall break this night.
Rising Wyvern! Coming through! Ha! Now! Scarlet Inferno!
Mega
Take this!
I won't give up!
Rising Wyvern!
It's this can't get out of this!
That freaking does it!
Far enough!
First strike!
Seismic rupture! A scream, hate and blood, rending you a bloody howling!
I've let you all down.
A new lease on life!
Down on the ground!
Laser steel! Here's evil! Freeze Lancer! By the power of flame! Without a trace!
Not my fight.
From beyond, imbue this vanquished soul with love. Resuscitation!
Burning Laser steel! Here's evil! Freeze Lancer!
No escape!
If it's in the sky, it's mine!
Mirage!
From
Mirage!
beyond, imbue this vanquished
I'll
soul
heal
with
you
light.
all!
It's not too late to bow out.
Will this help?
I'm not looking to get our tails handed to us.
That's exactly...
Why?
Here I come! Rising Wyvern!
Do you require a
Lunar Rondo! Mirage!
Shine!
Finish without a trace!
Shine! Radiant light!
First strike!
Radiant
This
light!
should do it!
In a bind!
Here's evil!
Mirage! Dragon Force!
Everlasting shock!
Burn in hell!
I'll heal you all!
Here I come! Rising Wyvern!
Healing
Armor
circle!
won't save you!
This isn't looking good! Turbo Demon Fang!
From beyond, imbue this vanquished soul with love.
Demon Fang!
I'm ready!
Demon Fang! Still!
This ends now!
Consider yourself finished!
From beyond,
Demon Fang!
imbue this vanquished soul with light.
Surrender! Fighting is useless now!
Do you think it's really over?
Astral energy. Watch out! They've got something up their sleeve!
What?
It's self-destructed?
Alvin!
I'm okay. Just a little roughed up.
You had me worried there.
Who said you could touch that?
Damn it! He's awake!
I should have thought as much.
So you know this place?
Naturally, it was built for me, after all. We'll save that for another time. More pressing is how I'm going to tear you apart. Even after all this time, you still insist on hating me? You cut me down. Sovereign or not, you will pay for that.
You're obviously bluffing. You can't even move right now.
Really, is that what you think? Did you really think that such a petty device could hold me?
Are you going to claim it's because you're a ruler? Be it sovereigns or lords. In the end, they're all titles given by someone else.
Plus, what kind of ruler would spend all his time chasing Alf, who happens to be another sovereign?
Idle prattle. I proved my worth and the Sovereign's powers were granted to me.
Were they really? We already know the title of Sovereign doesn't denote royalty. It is but an overblown codename for those with a designated part to play in these proceedings. You mentioned before that you were not the only one stolen from Dana, correct?
Yeah. There were countless. And every one of them besides me died.
All of those failed experiments, and they still kept going back to Dana. There must have been some vital reason their subject had to specifically be a Danan. Then there were the records we found in the library, for you and Volron. They were logged 300 years apart, and yet the data they took from you was exactly the same. Which leads us to a single conclusion.
Then you mean Voron was kidnapped just like Alphen? But then he became a...
A slave from Dana. Just like us. Isn't that right, Volron?
So he posed as a Renan and caused all that suffering to his own people?
How could you? If you knew the pain of being a slave, why would you inflict that upon others?
Renan and Dana are meaningless distinctions. Me and everyone else. That is all that matters. I will stand above all others and take what is rightfully mine, starting with this.
A red woman?
Another one?
Give your master back on Rena this message. No one makes a fool of me. Let them know I'll make them suffer.
Don't do it!
Serenus Alma!
It's too late! You can't stay here!
We need to go! Alfred!
Go. But know I will be your shadow no matter where you try to run.
Let's go.
Never forget,
I am the one who devours everything, who answers to neither spirit nor man. My word is law! I am...
Are you two okay?
Yeah. We'll be fine.
Is Volron... Have we finally seen the last of him?
We can but hope.
Those red women. What the heck was their deal?
Could they be the ones behind all this? The same ones who put those soldiers in Faria in a trance?
What? Those brainless things? Either way, they've done a runner with the Renis Alma. Damn it, that's the second time now!
Whatever's stolen from us, we'll steal it back. The future's ours to protect. And right now, those things are what's standing in our way. We can head them off at Rena.
Did you say Rena?
Volron mentioned a master of theirs holed up in the motherland somewhere.
If that monstrous form's their true identity, I shudder to think who they take orders from.
Yeah. There's a good chance it's not human. That's for sure.
So this thing over on Rena, that's what's really behind all this, huh?
They have the Renis Alma in their grasp already, so it's unlikely they'll have cause to return to Dana. I agree that Rena's our best shot.
Then we're agreed. Let's head back to the starship.
But seriously, I was not expecting Volron to actually be here.
He seemed to care not one... wit about Renans or Danans.
Yeah, not in a good way like with us.
I didn't see that coming about Volron. As for those red women, to think they were monsters all along.
Tell me about it. One minute they look perfectly human. Next thing you know, they're not actually human at all.
They definitely weren't Renan or Danan. I'm not even sure language would get through to them.
So what were they then? Human Zoogle hybrids?
Is the most terrifying thing anyone said all day?
How about you, Shion? Dohalie? You ever seen anything like that before?
No, never. However, if they're the same as the red woman we've seen with Volron, I think it's safe for us to assume they understand our language at the very least.
I had just so much I wanted to ask them. About Rena, and Shion's thorns.
Unfortunately, they blew themselves up before we got the chance. Why would they do such a thing, though? To take us with them? Or in order to keep something hidden?
Both sound plausible to my ears. They took off with the Renis Alma too, remember?
Yeah, they did. And the next time we meet them, we're going to make sure they tell us everything they know.
backing down!
Rising Wyvern!
Super Swallow! That freaking does it! A showdown between Blade and Fist!
And Soaring Light Spear!
Here goes!
Swallow there! That freaking does it!
Rising Wyvern!
That's enough!
Okay! Lunar Rondo! It's time! Voice Blast!
Do it!
Lunar Rondo!
The enemy wields odds too.
We'll soon see about that! Do it!
Gion!
Get toasty!
Bird Strike!
Not a chance!
First aid!
Not a chance! Rising Wyvern! It's too fast!
Stand back. I'll trip it up. I'll crush you! Lightning reflexes! Tenebrous claw! Talon Spore!
Rising Wyvern! Rising Wyvern!
Leave the target to me! Watch
Lunar
this!
Rondo! Take this! Try harder!
Now, Jamal!
Take this! Rising Wyvern!
Whirlwind
Lunar
Strike!
Rondo! Mirage! I'm on it!
That's
Win!
enough!
Coming through! Ha! Now! Scarlet Inferno! My turn! Rising
There you
Wyvern!
are!
Lunar Rondo! The flame inside me yearns to be let free! Lunar Rondo! Strike! Mirage! I'm not done! Rising
Hear
Wyvern!
my call!
Do it! You're finished!
Get toasty!
Bird Strike! Hey, I'm pretty lucky. What the? When did it get pitch dark all of a sudden?
The lights are all out. Think it has something to do with the explosion back in the Forbidden Zone? Doe?
You two.
Faria, Avakir. Thank goodness you're safe.
Avakir filled me in about everything. About how I ambushed you all.
She doesn't remember a thing, so she really was being controlled.
He told me about Tarnigan, too. Is it true?
What difference does it make? What's done is done.
Stop casting me off, just for once!
Faria, not now. It can wait. Dohalim, Lenegus is in grave peril.
So I can see.
It's the city's core reactor. It's damaged. Some of the basic systems we've managed to keep online, but complete restoration's still a way off.
You're an elite technician, though. You can fix it, right?
If so, then what's the problem?
Panic's begun to set in among the citizens. Until now, whenever something like this happened, the Sovereign would issue a decree. But this time, not so much as a peep. Any longer, and we run the risk of riots breaking out before we can get things back up and running.
Forget the Sovereign. I doubt you'll be hearing from him anytime soon.
What's that supposed to mean? Do you know something I don't?
Suffice it to say, the Sovereign isn't the kind of ruler we thought he was. That is, if he ever even existed, which is looking doubtful at this stage.
Are you out of your mind? Why, if people knew that a lord such as yourself was whispering such blasphemy, they'd...
There's no time to explain now. It sounds like we need to find a way to keep Lenegis from spiraling out of control.
We need to stop that riot.
But how do we do that?
Riots feed on discontent and unrest, right? So if we want to keep the peace, we just need to put people's minds at ease.
At ease? Like by letting them hear directly from someone they trust. That's it. Who's the highest-ranking person in Lenegis right now?
Lenegis wouldn't have a next in line. After all, you said the Sovereign rules over everyone directly, right?
Correct. The closest thing to an authority figure would be a lord, and the only one left is... Ah, very well then. Avakir, you mentioned a few facilities were still online. Which ones?
Why hasn't the Sovereign said anything?
Please, won't somebody explain what's going on?
Is it over? What's going to happen to all of us?
Heed me now, fellow Renans of Lenegis. It is I, Lord Dohalim Ilkaris of Eldaman and Sia.
Look, up there! It's Lord Dohalim!
Hold on! He should be in the crown contest! Shouldn't he? Why isn't the Sovereign talking to us?
The Sovereign is seeing to other matters right now. In my capacity as Lord, I speak to you in his stead. You're afraid, as people so often are when faced with the unknown. I hope you'll allow me to put your fears to rest. The city's core reactor has experienced a malfunction. However, we have our top engineers attending to the matter, and things will soon be back to normal. I know that you feel abandoned, perhaps more scared and alone than ever before. But I ask you all to keep one thing in mind. You are Lenegis, not the lords and sovereign. The solidarity of its citizens is the mortar that holds it together. If we don't allow ourselves to be distracted by our differences, if we put our hearts and minds together and stand as one, I am confident we will find new hope. I would be honored to stand with you. Not as a person of loftier rank, but as another human being among many. I hope that you'll lend me your strength, for if we can persevere as one, I know a bright tomorrow awaits.
Your speech seems to have done the trick. Looks like the city won't be descending into chaos after all.
I only pray the relief will tide the city over for the time being.
What you said earlier, about the Sovereign possibly not even existing, was it true?
It's still too premature to say with any certainty, but I believe so. This whole time, this world we've been fed was a lie, built on nothing but falsehoods.
But it can't all have been...
I can believe it. After everything I saw in the Forbidden Zone, what they did to Faria, it's the only explanation that makes sense.
But what about hierarchy, Avakir? Authority? The very foundations of Renan society? How can we live without someone to guide us?
I'd say we found someone capable of doing just that, wouldn't you?
You? You can't be serious.
I have business I must take care of first. But once everything is over, I shall return. But not as your sovereign, nor as a leader the likes of which the people here are used to, I think.
But how else do you propose to rule?
I'm not sure yet. All I have is a feeling that here in Lenegis, a new dawn is on the verge of breaking. One in which people won't be judged by birthright or on the power of their astral arts, but on other things. More important things. Things like, oh, I don't know, Musical talent, for example.
When I bumped into you after all those years, I said you were no different. But I was wrong. Truth is, you were always different. I feel like maybe now I can finally begin to accept Turnigan's death. To see a future.
You go finish whatever it is you've got to do. I'll hold down the fort here in Lenegus till you get back.
Thank you.
I guess you're not going to make it to Menancia for the foreseeable future, huh?
Indeed. Forgive me.
The people of Elda Menancia can look after themselves just fine. It's the ones here on Lenegus who need someone to guide them. Besides, with you leading the people here, it'll help spread the idea of coexistence beyond Menancia's borders that much faster.
Sounds like you're in it for the long haul.
How could I not be, after the second chance that I've been granted? From this day forth, I shall dedicate myself to the future inhabitants of this world. Though the memories of the departed shall remain forever in my heart.
Remember, you're going to be leading the people here, not ruling them.
True enough. Whatever would I do without you, Kisara?
With or without her, I suspect you're gonna have your hands full when the time comes. We should be heading back to the ship. Business on Rena awaits. Looks like the people of Lenegus can rest easy.
I couldn't have done it without... In one sense, when all is said and done, perhaps I have been a slave this whole time too.
You, a Renan lord? How do you figure that exactly?
I was complicit in the Renan system, bound by its values, resigned to being swept along, without the resolve to take a stand. And when I realized the severity of my mistake, all I longed for was punishment. A lord. And yet my first instinct was to place my fate in the hands of others.
I think I can relate. I couldn't stand watching my people bow and scrape their way through life, but I didn't know what else I could do about it either. The ability to think for yourself and be your own master, that's what separates a slave from a free person. At least, that's what Law's dad Zephyr used to say. Zephyr taught me how to fight. But in doing so, he also taught me how to live.
Even if it means stumbling along the way. If it's on a road of our own choosing, free of regret. Why, that's the road of freedom. Or, to put it another way, so long as his heart is compromised, even the loftiest of kings is no freer than a slave. I think I finally understand now. This Zephyr character sounds like he was a wise man indeed. I only wish I could have met him.
There's just so much I wish I could ask him, especially now. I wonder, have I been correctly carrying on the torch that he passed to me?
How long have you known?
Known what?
About the darkness I carry inside me. You seem to have been aware of it for quite some time now.
Why ask me now? What does it matter? But yes, I have. I've pretty much known that something was gnawing at you ever since we left Menancia.
So basically since the very start of our journey then. Just when I thought I couldn't feel more ashamed.
Leave the past where it belongs. We have no need for it now. You're forging ahead. That's what matters. If my brother could see you, he'd be proud.
Not as proud as he would be of his sister, I'm sure.
Well then, just as well it's not a competition, huh?
Kisara? Anyone at home in there?
Sorry. Did I look distracted?
Among other things. To be entirely honest, I couldn't tell whether you were smiling or frowning.
You were thinking about Dohalim, weren't you?
That obvious, huh? I was just thinking how good it is to see him moving forward at last. It was always so infuriating, knowing how capable he could be if he just put his mind to it. A prisoner trapped in a cage of his own self-doubt. But now, he's finally beginning to spread his wings. I'm happy for him.
So, then why do you look so sad?
Oh, I don't know if I'd say sad. There's a bittersweetness to it, I guess. It's good and strange, knowing that he won't be needing me anymore. It probably sounds weird, doesn't it? I have this massive worry off my mind. I should be jumping up and down for joy, right?
Must be that maternal instinct of yours at work.
Rinwell's right. You're like a mother bird, finally letting go as her child takes his first shaking and nervous flight from the nest.
A pretty big child.
That's one way to look at it. I wouldn't like to see Dohalim's face if he heard you say that. All this has made me realize I can't allow myself to become a prisoner of my own making like he. If Dohalim can forge his own path ahead.
thought we'd find answers on Lenegis, but we just ended up finding more questions.
You can say that again. And now we have more problems to fix, too. Like figuring out how to reform Lenegis.
That can wait for now. We've got more than enough on our plates to deal with as it is. Like figuring out who's really running the show on Rena.
Yeah. Which is why we're going to the Renan homeworld.
All the answers we've been looking for are on that planet. The person responsible for all this. The Red Woman and the Renaissance. The answers have to be there. Are we prepared to finally find them?
So, what do we do first when we get there?
We know nothing about the Renan homeworld or what we might face once we arrive. We should get a feel for how things are on the ground before we take any serious steps.
It's also entirely possible that the first thing we're going to face is an attack.
If we come across a capital, we should... What? Damn! The hell just happened?
Our course has been altered. The coordinates are pointing to a different destination.
What's that?
The ship's controls aren't accepting my commands. The engine is being shut down.
That's bad, right?
Quite bad. We've lost control of the ship.
Is all of this the Red Women's doing?
Are they trying to finish us off before we can land?
Everyone! Look there!
A flower blooming out of Rena?
But that flower looks like it's absorbing all of Dana's energy.
And it appears Lenegis is serving as a conduit for that energy to reach here. Could that have been its true purpose all along?
If that's true, do you think the people back on Lenegis are all right?
We can only pray that they are.
Damn it! Haven't they taken enough already? When is this going to end?
Flower of Oblivion.
With everything that's happening, we need to get back to Lenegis. Is the ship still offline?
Unfortunately, yes. Even more so than when it lay dormant.
Can you fix it?
Starships are extremely complex machines. One wrong move while we're out here in space could very well cost us our lives.
So what? We're just stuck inside here, floating around? For how long?
I don't believe this. We've made it all this way, and now we're stuck here? We're watching Dana die before our eyes, and we have no choice but to sit here and starve to death?
Law, calm down! You're not the only one who's worried here.
Right. Sorry.
It's still too early to give up. There has to be a way to get out of this.
Alphen.
Now what?
The starship, it's back online?
No, this is different. Something is pulling our ship in towards it.
We managed to get moving, but where are we?
It looks like Lenegis in here.
Do you think we might run into more Renans here? Or those red women?
Perhaps. Someone brought us here. The question is, who?
We haven't been ambushed, so that probably means they aren't hostile. Still, why would anyone want to bring us here?
Hey, Shion!
If they wanted to attack us, they could have done so while we were back on the starship. We should see where this path takes us.